Hello. Hi, this is Mrs.Z. Today we are working on lesson 12 word problem, and it says complete table. So they ask us, what is a 2 out of 3, 2/3 of a yard? In this case, we need to know that 1 yard is 3 feet. So imagine that this line is the yard, and you think about this to be 3 feet. Okay, so 2 out of 3 should be 2 feet. 2 feet. So these two parts of the yard you have. So that would be a 2/3 of the whole yard. Okay. Next one says 4 pounds. And we need to know then 1 pound is equal 16 ounces, because our problem needs to be in ounces. So ounces. So what we need to do is thinking about, we have 1 pound, we have 16 ounces, so 4 times 16. So we can think 4 times 10. 4 times 10, distributive property, 4 times 10 is 40, and 4 times 6 is 24. So that should be 64 ounces. So that is 64 ounces. Okay. If I did correctly, 4 times 10 is 40, 4 times 6 is 24, with you add is 64 ounces. If we know that 8 tons, they want us to find pound, it looks like the 1 pound is 1 ton. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So 8 times 2,000 should be like 16,000 pounds. Okay. Next, if we have a 3/4 of a gallon has a 4 quarts. And if if you have 3 out of 4, you have 3 gallons. That's thinking about this. If this is 4, this is a whole gallon. You really have these 3 parts. You have a quart. You have three quarts out of 4. That makes the gallon. Okay. 5 months out of 12. How many months are in a year? The 12 months. So how many months are there? 5 months. 5/12 of a year is 5 months. And then 4/5 of an hour. If you think about 5 pieces, that if this is an hour, like this is 60 minutes, so this should be 60 divided into 5, or what time 5 equals 60, what times 5 equals 16, so you know that it's 12. Oops, sorry. We can think about what times 5 makes 60, so 12 minutes, so each 5th is 12 minutes. So, but only we have 4. So this, if we add all these 4 out of 5 pieces, it's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48 minutes should be 4/5 of an hour. And that was just the beginning of, and it's kind of like practice of changing the units. And then we are going to do the problem set. And problem set, they have 6 questions. So we're going to start with number 1, problem set, grade 5, module 4, lesson 12. And this is Mrs.Z. Okay, and then today is, I would say, February 2nd, 02/02/25. Okay. Let's see how we can make that bigger like that. Okay, good. Okay. A baseball team played 32 games and lost 8. Kathy was the catcher in 5/8 of the winning games and 1/4 of the losing games. What fraction of games did the team win? That's one question. In how many games did Kathy play catcher? So the first we're going to use read, write, and draw strategy. So read, a baseball team played 32 games and then lost 8 games of those 32. So when we think about that, we can make, we're going to use read, draw, and read, draw, and write strategy. So if I take my little ruler and think about the 32 games as the total, I'm going to use this area right here. And so basically played 30. So the total of the games was 32 games. And then the lost was 8 games. So that was lost. And then we don't know how many was they won. Okay. So that's easy to find. 32 minus 8. We can think about you can think about 30 minus 8. That is 22 plus 2 is the 24. So this is the win should be 24 because 24 plus 8 is 32. So that is 24. Today we find out that they won 24 games and they lost 8. But then another information says now that Kathy was catcher in 5/5 of the winning games. So she did 5/8 of winning games is 24. So she was catcher of 5/8 of winning, and winning is 24 games. So there is a way to do simplification, because we can think about 5 times 24 divided by 8, and that is 8 is divisible by 24, and the greatest common factor is 8. We can divide both by 8. When we divide by 8, this becomes 1 left, and then here 3 times 8 is 24. So we deduce our calculation to 5 times 3 is 15, divide by 1, which is 15. So we can say that she plays in a 15 games. She was catcher in a 15 games of it. So now, and then the story says, then she did 1/4 of losing games. So 1/4, and they lost 8 games. So how much is 1/4 of 8? 1/4, 1 times 8, divide by 4. So it's the same thing. The greatest common factor is 4. We can divide both and reduce our fraction to 1 times 2 is 2, and divide by 1 equals 2. So she played catcher in a 2 losing games and a 15 winning game. So now when we did what fraction games did the team win? So what fraction of the game did the team win? The team win 24 out of 32. So 24 out of 32 games they win. We can simplify that fraction. So we can think about 24 and 32 are divisible by 8. So we can divide both by 8. And what number times 8 equals 24? That's 3. What number times 8 equals 32? And that is 4. So we can say that 3/4 of the fraction, 3/4 of the game did the team win of the games. 3/4. In how many games did Kathy play catcher? So then this could, I'm going to make it smaller so you can see it. Okay, that next. So we can answer this in writing. What fraction of game did the team win? The team won 3/4 of the games. Of the games. Okay. And how many games did Kathy play catcher? So remember that we solved 5/8 of 24 was 15 games, plus she played catcher in 2 games that they lost. So that was 17 total. So how many games did Kathy play catcher? Kathy play catcher in 17 games. Okay. Or was playing the catcher. In the now this is a new one. This was a number 1. Okay, now we're gonna do number 2. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. I hope that sounds very hard. The computer is making noise, so I'm going to stop right now, and then I will continue afterwards. That sounds good. Okay, sorry for that, but that was Mrs.Z. Thank you.